friend just got shot, and
Right.
he knows his guns out there in the community and no example of what you're talking about.
Right.
Really staying down and working your way up and working for yourself. If anybody's working for themselves, they doing it in
The
a
wrong
legal way.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
what could that person really realistically see in making that? You know what I mean? Those are the type of things that people need to try to have. Are those programs, examples, or anything?
Yeah.
But my question is, what advice would you give to that young person?
Well, the advice I would give them is that you don't have to be a product of your environment. You dare to be different. People will talk about you for being different, but don't let that interfere. Because a lot of time, the person that's not cool in school, to get talked about, called a nerd or whatnot. A lot of people end up working for that person later on in life. And finding mentors, if you don't have that father figure, that's very critical. Even with my dad, he was the community dad on the football team. It was a lot of guys that no father, absent father, in jail or whatnot. My dad always picked up that baton. And talk to guys, check up on them, see how they doing, give them rides home, that type of stuff, so they can see that positive influence. Like, why, I don't want to, because you see, like, with my dad in jail, I may well do it too. It's cool. No, you don't have to be that, and show just that example of showing the love for children, and that, that it's okay. It's just okay. Because the only hood that you really need to be proud of is parenthood. That is no, claiming, streets and stuff that, that you don't own. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's all, when you get older, you see that, me having children, like, it changes you. You can't make a selfish decision anymore. You got to think, well, before I go spend all this money, we got food in the house, is, what's my wife gonna say about this? Does this better my household? It's just you're living for somebody else now than versus living for just selfish reasons or whatnot. And that's part of growing up. It's been studies done showing that the brain, the decision making part of the brain is not fully mature till you're 25. And a lot of the, like you said, the youth crimes, they 16, 17, sometimes 15, they just, they don't have that decision making part in there, and it's fully developed yet. Not giving them an excuse, because, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own actions. But, yeah, just want to do better, and it's really about the leadership, just seeing male influence, because there's not as many male teachers in the classroom as it should be. You don't see it too much, but you got Big Brother Big Sister program and stuff like that. There's programs out there where you can find for male teachers or whatnot. We know male mentors. Playing sports, you're gonna see them. You're gonna see them. You're gonna football, baseball, basketball. You're gonna see them. It just just find them.
Talk about your thoughts on the importance of voting.
This voting is definitely important, and I tell anybody, if you're complaining about how something is, and government wise, but you tell me you didn't vote, you have no right to complain, because you didn't. Because if you don't like something, you can vote. Somebody say, well, my vote doesn't matter. My one vote don't matter. Well, if you spread that, and it spreads like wildfire. So you get that one vote, and that you can convince somebody else. They convince somebody else. So that one vote that you saying don't matter can turn to 100 votes, and that can be, especially in a race like a commissioner's race. That can be the telltale sign. That can be the difference between winning and losing. Um, and when you come from, just voting in general, everybody didn't get the right to vote until 1919, to the 19th Amendment. Because even then, okay, so you got the 15th Amendment that gave free slaves the right to vote. Women didn't get the right to vote till the 19th Amendment. But even then, so in that period of time from I think about 1868 to 64, you got Jim Crow. You got all these laws put in place for you not to vote. You got people that died. You got people dying, getting beat, jailed and everything until 64. Then the Civil Rights Act was implemented. So you got that. So you got given the right to vote, and then that lets you know the importance of voting. If it takes from 68 to 64, that's almost 100 years after the amendment was put in place. And then, that's because originally who voted was just property owners, male property owners. That's all they had the right to vote. So it's vital. It's vital. It's your voice to make positive change on what you believe in and stand for and whatnot. That's your vote.
Why do you think, with you campaigning right now, why do you think that people, they'll listen to the message, they'll hear the things that they can change, but then again, they don't show up at the polls? What do you think about that?
That's a good question, because I grew up different. Politics was very up forefront in my household. My dad was always big on politics. But a lot of people, they think it's a hassle. I don't want to get involved there. But you got early voting. It's things in place to make it easier. Early voting is like I know this time it's April 27th to May 15th. So you get that area, but it's just I don't know. I really don't know why you wouldn't vote. I know voter fatigue is a big problem when you have a lot of, especially in this time, so you got to vote. So say if you're a Democrat, you had Democratic primary, and then it got pushed back to the time of the mayor and the commissioner race and sheriff and all that stuff. So you got May, and then you got November, that's the presidential election, and Senate election too, and Congress or whatnot. So voter fatigue is a problem. I think if you make voting day a holiday, I think that'll increase it. So that Tuesday, you just make it, everybody off or whatnot. That's a solution. Easier ways, maybe voting for your cell phone. It gets hard to regulate that type of stuff. But why would one not vote? I have no idea. I really don't.
What would you tell the people that that's hearing your campaign for the first time? What sets you apart from the other candidates?
Well, what sets me apart from the other candidates is in making this time for a change, and that's my slogan. That's what I'm running on: making time for a change. It's growing up, we've missed out on a lot. We let the Ag Center get to Perry. We passed up on that. Wild Adventures got to Valdosta. It's a lot of things. There's so much infighting going on in making government. And it's just a lot of times things just don't get done. So what sets me apart is I'm just new voice, new vision, new ideas, positive. I'm ready. Macon needs to go into this new decade with a 2020 vision for our future. And that's when I'm just running on. It's time for a change. Time for a change. My 3 running points have been lower property taxes, pedestrian safety, and transparency in government. Because that's real. That's definitely what hits home with my district, and which is District 4 or whatnot. If you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. So it's time for a change.
For the people that's watching this, especially the youth, who may be a future commissioner, that's watching this, and You know, they might not know exactly what to do, and they might have some hardships and, you know, some doubt. You know, what advice would you give them to, you know, keep following their dream?
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing, because things don't come overnight. Things don't come in your time. You know, it's things. It come when you least expect it. If you keep knocking on the door, it's gonna open. It might fall down. You know, you might beat it off the hinges or whatnot, but it's gonna keep open. It's gonna open eventually. Just keep at it. And if you ever need, you know, talk to somebody about it, so you call me 478-227-3314. It's just you just got to keep at it. You just got to keep at it.
I appreciate you coming in, man. Definitely congratulations on, you know, you